And obviously now, well, I say now, pretty much every point in time is uncertain to some degree, whether it's a war going on somewhere in the world or, the economy, trade. What would you say to the individuals that are that say that wouldn't invest their money because it's too uncertain, they're too scared, they're trying to maybe time the market? What would you say to those people?
That's firstly, a very rational thought. If you take, the recent war on Iran, you're kind of like, why would anyone want to invest right now with that sort of in the backdrop? Why not wait till the clouds pass, and then, when it feels a bit more comfortable, invest. And that's, a very rational. That makes sense. It makes sense in every other walk of life except for investing, because there's never an ideal time to start. There's always reasons to not invest. There's a few great graphs available that show almost, let's say 20 or 30 years of stock market growth and the negative headlines that have appeared along the way. And there's always a reason to say not a good time. I mean, ultimately, what I would counter, or chat to our clients and go, like, being perfectly honest, Amazon, Microsoft, and Google, whilst they may be fully aware of a war or, a backdrop of a irrational leader, should we say, to put it politely, they're still making money. And that's ultimately who you're backing when you're investing in the stock market. You're backing quality CEOs who are running quality companies to earn profits. And sometimes those profits might be less than we think, and the market will fall. That's going to happen, but that's part of the journey. Yeah, I think it's so important. I mean, like, without getting too dark and magically capitalist about war, the stock market was up pre-war to post-war in the 40s and 30s. The stock market was up 11.5% per annum throughout the whole period, and that's it's not something that's trumpeted. And obviously, there's a horrible human side to all of this, but in terms of my pension or my investment, I think it's about how long you can invest with, and that's what we always start with, which is, no one ever asks this question, and it really annoys me. Is this sort of, when are you going to need this money? If I talk to someone in their 40s about their pension, and they're kind of going, "Oh, I don't want to really take risks." It's like, well, when can you access this money? And at the very least, it's 50, more than likely mid 60s, and probably in most cases 70s. So, that's 30 years of investment in some cases. That's an extraordinarily long time horizon. There's going to be 5 to 10 more conflicts and wars between retirement and drawing down that. So really, it's how long. Whereas you flip the other side of that being, well, look, and we get this a bit, is we've money for a house deposit. We don't know when we're going to buy it. It's probably going to be over the next 2 or 3 years. That money shouldn't be anywhere near stock markets or stock market based investment. That should be kept somewhere boring. Granted, you're not going to make much money on it, but you shouldn't. There is no, in my view, there's no magic investment for sort of 0 to 3 years. You can mitigate inflation a little bit by getting something from a bank, but I don't think there is anything. So if you're able to put things in the right timeline and the right pot related to that timeline and the right investment related to that timeline, there shouldn't be any problems. And thankfully, philosophy's largely worked thus far.